And now, for ponies and transformers. Yes, I know we're all thinking the same thing that G.I. Joe's in this, but let's face it, you're all here to see Optimus Prime come in and kick butt. And now, Confusion Bureau, United We Stand, by Arcade Striker JK5. As a side note, the nicknames and sword names are the Confusion Bureau ponies, and the full names are the Rainbow Bridge ponies. Now with that out of the way, let's begin. Celestia looked out over Equestria from her balcony, a smile on her face as her sun rose, bringing light to lands once fouled by corruption, but now purified through her magic. 7 billion ponies now frolic and play through Equestria, formerly humans but now superior species. She turned and walked into a hallway, past several stained glass windows depicting various events in equestrian history. She saw representations of Discourse Defeat, Nightmare Moon's ceiling. Her final resolution was Selena and Cadence, her final human conversion among others. Celestia paused at the final one and chuckled before resuming her walk to a throne set at the far end of the hallway. Turning and sitting her posterior onto it, letting her forelegs rest on the floor in front. "Come, my elements," she says. Twilight, Applejack, Rarity, Dash, Pinky, and Flutters approached. The 6 ponies bowed, dropping to their knees before the alicorn. Twilight was the first to rise to 4 hosts. She looked at the goddess sitting on her throne and sweat beaded down her forehead. "I brave grave news, princess. It turns out our crusade is not finished. Humans are still out there, unconverted." Celestia's eyes narrowed. She lowered her head, peering down her muzzle at Twilight. "How? The barrier wiped out all traces of their civilization, and the last human was converted nearly a year ago." She unfurled her right wing and slid it out. "All are equestrians. All are under my protection. How could any survive?" Twilight swallowed. "Yes, your majesty. All on this earth are either converted or killed. The only problem is there are other earths." Dash looked over to her and cocked an eyebrow. "That multiple universe thing? How does that even work, Twilight? And so what?" She waved a hoof at her. "Let the stinking humans keep that little pile of dirt. We've got 7 billion here, and a new world for us all." Celestia scraped a hoof across the right floor, in front of the throne, ripping up the carpet and digging up the tile below. "No, Dash, we can't do that. I'm getting a Justice Lord's JLA 5 here going, people." She slid her backside off the throne and marched forward, right up to the ponies. "All humans must be turned to ponies, for their own good and the good of Equestria." She looked to Twilight. "Have you observed this other Earth? As bad off as the one we saved?" Applejack nodded. "Yeah, Twilight. What's you see in that crazy cloud of yours?" Twilight's eyes darted back and forth before she finally spoke. "Well, it was certainly different. There was the same overabundance of technology, but it wasn't the same. I saw these things." She reared back on her hind legs and held her forelegs straight out. "They were human-shaped, for the most part, but huge!" She dropped back to all 4 hosts. "And made of metal, too." She stopped and shook her head. "And there was something familiar about something there, almost like an echo." She waved herself off. "Nah, forget that last part. I must be mistaken." Reddy held a foreleg to her forehead and rolled her eyes. "Oh, how absolutely ghastly, Twilight! Metal people! The shine of them must be horrendous, and the colors must be so flawed, too." She rubbed her chin. "The crime against fashion alone necessitates conversion." Celestia held a hoof, and all fell silent. "No matter what the reasons, our course of action is clear. These are humans, and for their good of their planet, and for all, they must be converted. Their wild animalistic tendencies must be tamed, and their vile technology must be purged from their planet." She began striding forward, Holly's falling to step behind her. "It shall take time, but I shall fasten a new portal and barrier. Equestria shall subsume another Earth, and all will be richer for it." Twilight looked up at Celestia and beamed. "I will be right there for you, Princess. Not that you need help or anything." She looked away. blushing. Celestia paused and turned her head, looking down at Twilight. Actually, Twilight, I would be honored if you would help me with this task, she said, a smile crossing her mouth but not raising her eyes. You're very powerful, and I feel time is of the essence with this earth. Twilight's face brightened. She jumped up into the air, hopping around Celestia. Yes, 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 yes! She cried out, stomping in front of Celestia. She cleared her throat and straightened up. I won't let you down, Princess. The other ponies chuckled, but a look from Celestia silenced them all. She waited for Twilight to trot around to her side before walking off once more. I know you won't, Twilight. Now please come with me. There's much to do. She paused and looked back at Applejack, Rarity, Dash, Flares, and Pinky. As for the rest of you, please make yourself at home. But be ready, for we have more to confront, to save. Earth, unconverted. Twilight Sparkle looked up and around at the large room she and her friends walked down and flew in. The walls, ceiling, and floor were white. Bright fluorescent lighting in the ceiling shone down, and there were several chairs strewn about. There was a single table in the middle with a tray of pastries, a pitcher of water, and some old magazines on it, some almost painfully out of date. Sia read through them for the first hour before beginning to pace about, wondering if they were early for their tour, perhaps even late. Her head darted back and forth, focusing on Applejack as she stood near the table. Applejack, do you have the time? She tried over, her breath quickening. Applejack rolled her eyes and trotted over to Twilight Sparkle. She reached out and patted her on her shoulder. Now don't you that. No way to start the tour with Alice. She looked around the room and swallowed. Of course, will be a bit nicer for them to ask us to wait outside instead of this here room. Now this room is I will have left. She suddenly chuckled as a silent purr came with an instance of clipping her head. Consort, Rainbow Dash! She said, waving a hoof in the air. Get down here! Rainbow Dash looked down at the fuzzy earth pony and stuck her tongue out. No way, Applejack! She continued circling around the room, buzzing the walls with each turn. This is so boring! Why couldn't they just paint us or something instead of having us wait in this tiny little room? Think it's I could get stir-crazy at such an enclosed space! Wow. Call back to It's a dangerous business, people. She went down Fluttershy, who sat down on one of the chairs. Right, Fluttershy! Fluttershy glanced up at Rainbow Dash from her chair. Oh, I don't know, Rainbow Dash. It was awfully nice of the people here to make sure we all had our own rooms and a place to meet the tour guide instead of wandering around the big place. She looked down the floor. I won't want to get lost or... She swallowed, her eyes wide. Underfoot of anyone here. Rarity looked over at Fluttershy. Unicorn stood near a wall, opposite Twilight and the door. Very nice. They could have put us in a room with more flair or style. She rolled her eyes and grunted. Honestly, would it hurt to add a little color to this place? Elzak glanced over. You realize most of them here wear less clothes than we do? She said, arching an eyebrow. She looked down at the lanyard hanging from around their neck, a plastic card attached to it. Then the identical lanyards and cards hanging from every pony else's neck. Pinkie Pie bounced around the table, pausing to lean forward and eat a cupcake in one bite. She spatted the rubber in her tray and swallowed. Tasty! She looked at Rarity, twisted her head around almost 180 degrees. That's odd, Rarity. I thought the walls matched your coat. She hopped over onto Rarity's bank, poking her flanks. You almost blended into the background. Rarity's horn glowed. She wrapped Pinkie Pie up in her telekinesis and floated her pony down off her back. Pinkie, please. That's one of the problems. She looked over herself and scowled. Like a hose must my coat. She turned around to face Pinkie Pie, her eye twitching. She stopped for her even as Pinkie Pie backed up. Do you even have any idea how long it took me for me to... Rarity stopped as the door slid open, casting every pony's attention. A human female stepped inside, clad in a white uniform with a blue trim, a belt with a large pistol in the holsters, a shoulder pass with the letters EDC. She looked around her room with soft brown eyes. My apologies for the late, she said, holding a tan hand to her chest. My name is Lieutenant Commander Marie Hernandez, and I'll be your tour guide. Twilight Sparkle trotted out to her, let out a breath. Oh, hello, Commander. It's an honor to meet you. She waved a foreleg around as the other five gathered around. I'm Twilight Sparkle. And this is Applejack, Fluttershy, Pinkie Pie, and Rainbow Dash. Rarity interjected. Pony eats a turn. She looked back to Twilight and half smiled. It didn't make any sense. Tiny Sparkle's cheeks turned scarlet and her ears folded down. Of course, how silly of me. She cleared her throat and placed a hoof on her chest. Maya, please. Marie shook her head. Nothing put up. She turned on her heel and stepped out of the room. So, are you all ready? Rainbow Dash flew out of the room with all her forelegs up. I can't wait, she said, buzzing around Marie. So, do we get to see the ships? Do we? Marie chuckled as the rest filed out. Maybe, Miss Dash. She looked down at the ponies. Now, please, be careful and stick together. Most of our tour will be in areas more human scale, but there will be times we'll be going to the larger areas. Firefly swallowed and her head darted around. Oh, I hope everyone will be all right, she said, looking up at Marie. You know, people, I just want to point out, for those of you who have been stuck reading mic specs, this is how you properly include human and pony transitions without making either side look stupid. I was suddenly looked up and around the back of Twilight, still in the room. Twilight, you alright? She asked Leanne. My sparkle horn glowed for a second, but the light quickly dimmed. Sorry, Applejack, she said, finally leaving the room with the rest of the group. I thought I sensed something. No. Someone sensing me. Watching me. She shook her head. It's nothing. The group passed a few other humans before they stopped in front of a door. Marie turned to the ponies, a serious expression on her face. Now please, be careful. Here. She warned, her eyes locked on the Rainbow Dash in the air, the driven flares on the ground. Stick to the corridor. She turned and pressed a few buttons on the control panel. All set? Odds. She opened the door and stepped out. The ponies falling into an open-air corridor, suspended nearly 30 meters in the air. Waist-high walls separated the corridor from empty space. Down below was a constant cacophony of almost huge metal beings. Most humanoid in shape, but of every color and variation imaginable. One common feature was a red face somewhere on their bodies. All of them. You people know it. We all know it. It's the Autobot logo. Some chatted, some hurriedly through silently, some had weapons, others had tools. All moved with a purpose. Marie looked back to the wide-eyed ponies and smiled. Welcome to Autobot City! Why do I feel like this is where the opening credits start? Chapter 2. Twilight Sparkle inched her way to the wall and moved up on her hind legs, resting her body on the top of the wall and veering down at various giant robots moving along. I've only seen one Autobot up close, she said, her voice almost drowned out by the din. It was at Canterlot about 6 months ago when their leader, Optimus Prime, traveled up to meet the princesses. He seemed so intimidating, but he was actually very gentle and kind. She dropped back down and looked up at Marie. Have you ever met him? Marie shook her head. I've seen Optimus Prime in the distance a few times, but I've never met him personally. I've worked with some Autobots before, mostly the Technobot subgroup and some others. One of the Autobots stopped in mid-stride and pivoted on his heel, looking over at the corridor with bright blue optic sensors. His torso was red, with a transparent metal over the upper half and identical-covered shins. His hips and forearms were blue, with chrome-plated discs on the forearms. A large barrel was attached to his left shoulder. Next to the head, a rather inquisitive-looking expression on top. Ah! Hello! He said, in an accent not out of place in an upper-class university on either side of the Rainbow Bridge. Ah, of course! The sapient equine population from across the interdimensional and trans-chronological gateway. The bearers of the elements of harmony, if my data tracks are not in error. He reached out a hand at Lars, enough to pick up one of them. My name is Perceptor, and it's an honor to meet you. 6 points stared up at Perceptor. All 6 pairs of eyes the approximate size of saucers. Perceptor's arctic sensors blinked on and off, and his hand slowly slid back. His head dripped low and looked away. My apologies, he said. I did not mean to disturb you or in your tour. Twilight, finally some pony who speaks English! Fluttershy looked at the giant robot before she hopped up, spread her wings out, flew over. She extended her forelegs and embraced Perceptor's under arm. No, I'm sorry, she said. You didn't disturb us or the tour. Tiny Sparkle hopped up, resting her forelegs on the guardrail. She looked Perceptor over, wide eyes taking in every detail. Treads on the back of legs. That's obviously a cockpit in your chest. And you've got a cannon on your left shoulder. She slapped her hoof against the guardrail, her hoof thudding against the metal of the guardrail. Your alternate form must be some sort of artillery unit or a tank, she declared, grinning. Rainbow Dash rubbed her chin and hopped up and flew out, circling Perceptor's torso. No way, she said. She raised his chest and flew straight up, looking at his face. He talks too much like you! No way he's cool enough to be a tank! She reached in close and held a foreleg up to her muscle. No offense, Percy. Perceptor's mouth turned slightly upward. None taken, Miss Das. I assure you my emotive programming was not adversely affected by the evaluation of my vocabulary. He looked at Fluttershy while still hugging his upper arm. And I am most appreciative of your greeting, Miss Fluttershy. It warms my laser core that you are receptive to me. Applejack blinked twice. She moved her hat back and scratched her foreleg. Wesley sigh! Twilight Sparkle let out a loud sigh. Oh. He said he wasn't hurt by what Rainbow Dash had said, and he's glad we're not afraid of him. She looked over him again. So, are you a tank or an artillery unit? Rarity arched an eyebrow. Danny, I don't mean to intrude, but I think I'm focusing too much on the obvious and not enough on the details. She stepped forward and hopped on her hind legs and lay next to Twilight. His language isn't that of some soldier, but of a scholar. And that fellow's not one for shooting beams of death eye later. The dial's on it. His forearm is looking for a manual adjustment being turned in the heat of battle, even by him. She pointed down at his shins, and the treads are too short for mobility, unless he's got some other part that involves transport. She looked at Perceptor's face. So, my dear, who's right, Twilight or myself? Perceptor chuckled slightly. I'm afraid, my dear, that Rarity is correct in her line of thinking. I do not transform a piece of utility hardware. Rather, my alternate mode is a microscope. Tiny Sparkle tilted her head to the side. Really? That makes a lot of sense, actually. Rainbow Dash merely crossed her forelegs in front of her and nodded. I knew it! You sounded way too much like an A-kid to be some cool tank or a cannon. She suddenly gulped, and a nervous smile crossed her mouth. No offense, big guy. Perceptor chuckled. Then take it. His object shifted to the left and looked at Marie. Apologies, Commander Hernandez. I simply let my curiosity overwhelm my caution subroutines. I shall endeavor to be more careful next time. I like Perceptor. Marie shook her head. Not a problem, Perceptor. I'm merely taking them around to some more human-skilled areas for a few hours. She looked around as Rainbow Dash and Fluttershy flew back to the corridor. So, more sightseeing from here? Or does anyone have a destination in mind? Twilight looked to Marie, then Perceptor. Sorry, Perceptor. It was nice meeting you. But there's so much to see here. Her face smiled in a wild, impossibly wide grin. That doesn't mean I don't want to see you again. Verity nodded. Indeed, my dear Perceptor. It'd be ever so fascinating to hear what you think of Equestria. Have you been there? Perceptor nodded. Indeed I have, Miss Verity. He let out a chuckle. In all actuality, on my visit, I was able to find an old acquaintance. Although his base form has altered itself quite radically from his previous bipedal human form. He abruptly spun around on his heel, producing an earpiece crate as he pointed his crins. I look forward to processing your images again. He held out over his shoulder before marching away. Twilight Sparkle looked down at Perceptor, her ears shut straight up. Wait! An old acquaintance? Who the heck is this? She took over the guardrail to open air, forelegs extended. Wait! She hung in midair for a moment. Uh-oh. Time slowed for a moment. Marie's arm darted out as she yelled. Pinkie Pie and Applejack stood there, while Rarity's mouth hung open in shock. Rainbow Dash and Fluttershy stared at Twilight for a fraction of a second. Her instincts kicked in, and the pair of Pegasi drove, reaching for Twilight with their forelegs and snatching Twilight before she fell more than a few feet. Slow descent, all three coming to a gradual halt. Okay, let's get you away from your cult friend, Rainbow Dash said, winking. Twilight Sparkle grunted, but remained mostly silent, as the two flew her up and back into the corridor. Thank you, two, she said, giving first Rainbow Dash and then Fluttershy a hug. She looked around as Applejack, Rarity, and Pinkie Pie gathered around her. Her cheeks ran slightly as she looked up to see Marie standing over her. Sorry about that. The EDC officer loomed over the unicorn, arms crossed over her chest and a scowl on her face. Miss Parker, in the future, please leave the flying to those with vital wings or jetpacks, she said with a sharpness in her voice not there before. Twice Sparkle and the rest of the party suddenly stood up, a little straighter than before. Yes, Commander, she said, her head bobbing up and down. I'll keep all 4 hosts on the floor for the rest of the tour. Pinkie Pie's head craned around. Then how are you going to walk? There was silence for the briefest of moments before us. We continued, rapidly evolving into laughter. She cleared her throat and looked down at Pinkie. All right, good one. Pinkie Pie grinned. Yes. Her head suddenly twisted around. Hey, that one. Marie looked at the pink party pony. She glanced at the others as she shrugged and waved Pinkie off. Never mind. She pulled a small reticular pad from her belt and pressed a small button on the edge. A screen on flicked to life, displaying a map of Autobot City. Alright. From here we can get to the hangars. She looked the rainbow down. The Greeners, CI Double Check, or any number of other areas. Okay, so I Sparkle, Fluttershy, Pinkie Pie, and Rarity. She knelt down and held the map for all to see. Anything catch your eye? Twice Sparkle looked at her friends. I'm up for anywhere you girls want to go. Maybe Dad struts a 4-legged air waiting around. Ooh, the hangars, please! I gotta see those ships inflate your space! She stopped and looked at everyone around her. The Pegasus shrunk down and scratched the back of her head. Or the greenhouses would be cool, I guess. Eljack chuckled. Nah, Sugar Cube. She looked at Marie. If it's alright, I'd love to see these hangars with this. Sounds mighty interesting, actually. Very done. It would be nice to see the ships of the stars standing. She held a 4-legged slipped from side to side. Look at this, get against the clean lines. Nothing into the cannons, Pinkie Pie shouted, hopping up and down. She stood up on her hind legs and held 4 legs out as if gripping an imaginary rifle. Her upper body leaned back a few times. Gimme! Fluttershy shook her head a bit at Pinkie Pie. Oh my, I hope none of those cans had to go off over there, she started slightly. Too loud. Eljack bit back and laughed. Has Blade Mac told you about his state in the world tank car? She looked to the ceiling. Lance Slick, he loves firing out those blade cans and driving around in those blade things. Rarity looked at Twilight Sparkle. A shame Spike couldn't make it. I have a feeling he's simply fallen in love with his place. You know how boys can be, she said, winking. Marie spoke up. Maybe I'd tell you all about my own brother. She stood up and waved her on. Except at her nods and the words of assent. She turned and started walking. Ponies trotting, flying, or hopping along behind her. Twilight Sparkle turned her head to Rarity as she followed Marie down the corridor, moving in close to allow the others moving along space to get by. I bet Spike's having too much fun at Megan's, she said. Her eyes tilted up slightly as the warm thought of their first human friend filled her mind. Last I heard from him, he's helping out with a birthday party for her younger daughter. Rarity's eyes lit up. Oh, Michelle, how marvelous! The little darling will be 11, I believe. She tossed her head back. She simply has the most divine talent for braiding and looking her mane. She could open her own shop at Ponyville and have customers coming out of her ears. She rubbed her chin. I know humans don't mature as fast as we do, but her braiding and my eye for fashion might want to let her get past puberty, Twilight Sparkle remarked. As they turned a corner, moving away from the Autobots below. I had to give Spike a call tonight. Wonder how he's doing. Spike thrust a small scaly arm into the air. Ha! I did it! He shouted, hopping up and down the cat wiggling his body around. Who's the dragon? Yeah, who's the dragon? He turned to the human sitting next to him. Did you see that, Danny? I saved the princess! Danny Williams chuckled lightly at the baby dragon's enthusiasm. Hey, nasty out! He said. He grabbed his wheelchair's wheels and rolled slightly bent down, switching off the old NES. The adoptive uncle of Princess Luna looked over his shoulder and smacked. So, ready to experience a true legend? You know, I miss the Williams' family. I miss doing all these various southern accents. I really have. So, without further ado, a voice from behind caught her attention. A voice tinged with wisdom, compassion, and a slight weariness. Sorry, it's been about a few years since I last did Megan, so I gotta get back into the groove. Well, I bet you two so help out with the legend of the power planting. Megan Richards said, emerging from the kitchen and walking into the living room. She placed her hands on the back of the couch and leaned over. We got about a week, and I do not want Pinkie Pie overdoing it like with Danielle, or when I went back to Equestria, or when the Cake Twins were born, or... Dane held up his hand. Okay, sis, I get it. He turned his wheelchair to feel around. You may have wanted to wait for Pinkie to get back from Autobot City before doing the planning. Megan let a small smile cross her mouth. By the time Slick gets back, it'll be too late for her to overdo things. Michelle will have a nice, full birthday party that won't force the police to come and politely ask us to stop it from overflowing to the streets. She looked up to the ceiling and the sky beyond. And absolutely everything will go wrong, she said. It will be the worst birthday party ever. Spike blinked. Danny, why did Megan say that? He scratched his smile, across in confusion. Danny shrugged. Trying to fake out any gods listening in, motherfuckers? He rolled forward and looked up at his older sister. Think it'll work? Megan shrugged. Okay, here to try. She stood back up, worked her shoulders, and looked around the living room. She sighed across her arms. Those are my months. Michelle's birthday party's going to be the last thing we do before moving. She pointed at the kitchen. We are beyond it, and the rainbow bridge that connected Earth to Equestria. After that, the entire house gets moved back 10 blocks down, and a month from now. She looked away. I still can't believe it. Danny's mouth turned down. He rolled around to the couch up to Megan and grabbed her arm, Spike falling to his side. You alright? Megan snorted. She rounded her arm around so she could grab Spike's forearm. I'm fine, thanks. She looked to Spike. Thank you. She let go and stepped back. We still got lots to do. She turned around heel and faced the kitchen. You two able to tear yourselves away from Super Mario Bros. Long enough to help with Michelle's project? Spike sighed. He looked at the television and video games, but quickly nodded. Ugh. Or Michelle. He stole a glance back. But later, can I see the princess again? Megan stepped back and patted Spike on the head. I'm sure Mario will need your help, especially if the princess is in another castle. Here I thought he was going to be playing as a Zelda. He sat down at the kitchen table and slipped a hand over a few sheets of paper. Now, let's make sure our little princess has the best 11th birthday party we can give her. Oh, man. I just forgot how much I missed you guys! It's like coming back home. Really.